Right now on Action News Live at midday, chaos at Kmart.
It's just unorganized. This is ridiculous. Look at this. Now they out of TVs, VCRs, everything. It's ridiculous.
You can hear the frustration. Even the cops had to be called in. Plus, a major holiday headache for travelers in Texas. A huge pileup closes the freeway. We'll tell you what may have caused this one. And serving up dinner, volunteers showed up bright and early this morning to Catholic Charities to cook up a traditional Thanksgiving feast for dozens of homeless here in the Valley. We're live with a look at what's on the menu.
11 o'clock is the time, and when you look at weather across the country, there can't be much finer than right here in the Valley. Some high-level clouds and sunshine. We talked about this a little earlier this morning, that this would be the case, and yet again it is. 63 is our current temperature. The air is hardly breathing out there at all. Very little wind. That'll be the case throughout the rest of today. I think we're 67 and on par to do that for lunchtime, and then 71 for the high today. Coming up, we'll look at the shopping weather for tonight, tomorrow, and as well for the weekend, Lisa.
All right, thanks, Mike. Now to our top story. Not everyone has access to a warm Thanksgiving meal today, so Catholic Charities of Las Vegas is making sure no one goes without. Hello, thanks for joining us for Action News Live at midday. Happy Thanksgiving to you. I'm Lisa Remillard. Casey Smith is off. Well, dinner is served. People are filing into the Catholic Charities kitchen as we speak, and Action News reporter Michaela Zern has been there all morning long as staff and volunteers prepare this huge meal. Michaela.
A lot of good feelings in here, Lisa. It's a madhouse. It is packed. They're expecting 2,000 people will file their way through these doors today, and you bet they had a lot of turkey and mashed potatoes to prepare this morning. Things got started at about 3 a.m., but prep work was underway, or has been underway since Monday. It took 1,000 pounds of turkey, 750 pounds of mashed potatoes, and 60 gallons of gravy to feed the thousands they expect today. And it isn't just homeless who have come to dine. Families that just don't have the means or equipment to make a warm turkey dinner are also here.
One of the things we noticed is this is a population now. We have some of the middle class that are coming. They're on the verge of homelessness or what have you. So if we can help everybody, we do the best we can.
Well, the meal ends at about noon, so if you're planning on coming down here, you better do so soon. But everybody is welcome. They're not turning anyone away. It's a real happy Thanksgiving around Catholic Charities today. Reporting live, Michaela Zern, Channel 13 Action News.
Thank you, Michaela, and they do such great work out there. All right, the Clark County School District is also serving up a meal. Students, staff, and community partners are feeding the homeless Thanksgiving dinner today. Dinner will be served at the cafeteria at Cimarron Memorial High School. Anyone is invited to attend. You can stop by anytime between now and 4 p.m. Holiday shopping turned into complete chaos at one Kmart in North Las Vegas. Anxious shoppers say they waited for hours and got nothing when the store doors opened this morning.
Ain't no more nothing back there. They ridiculous.
Was it crazy in there?
Yeah, they ridiculous. They really are.
Well, you can see frustration at the location on Las Vegas Boulevard in Evans. That woman says the doorbuster deals that were promised were completely unorganized.
Hectic. Everybody's running around. Just now they're saying no more TVs, no more DVDs, no more anything. They're out. And they just opened the door 15 minutes ago.
Even the police had to be called out to handle the huge crowd. You can see them standing around while the shoppers waited to get inside. Today has been dubbed Gray Thursday since a lot of folks are skipping out on their Thanksgiving meals and opting instead to hit the stores. ABC's John Schifrin joins us from a Kmart in the Bronx.
It's Thanksgiving and it's on.
You just start to get pumped up. 20 minutes before those gates open.
The traditional Black Friday shopping bargains are now being gobbled up by door-busting deals starting this morning for Gray Thursday. Kmart already opened their doors, and other major retailers like Toys R Us, Walmart, and Sears are right behind them, starting their parties at 8 p.m., Target an hour later at 9.
It's tradition. The day after Thanksgiving is Black Friday, when the stores go into the black. That means that's when they make all their money. But really, that's not true anymore.
Some of the most determined shoppers around the country have been lining up for days, sleeping in tents since last weekend, all trying to get a turkey leg up on their fellow bargain hunters.
I'm just happy I beat my competition
They pulled up around 3 and we were already here, so I was happy.
Last year, some sale seekers were a little too excited and turned holiday shopping into a contact sport. But this year, stores are beefing up security. Best Buy employees even participated in training drills to handle the large crowds. So what are the hottest items expected to fly off the shelves today? Sears is slashing $1,000 off this Kenmore refrigerator. Target has the Nook Simple Touch e-reader for sale at half price. As for flat screen TVs, Walmart has knocked $200 off a 46-inch Samsung LED. And if all this running around today has you run down, rest up. Black Friday officially kicks off at midnight at Best Buy, Sports Authority, and Macy's. And when this Kmart opened at 6 o'clock this morning, hundreds of people rushed in and went straight to the electronics department to get their hands on this. A 32-inch TV, normally $299, but today only $97. But get this, in just 30 minutes, they all sold out. John Schriffen, ABC News, Bronx, New York.
We can't take it no more! We can't take it no more!
A union-backed group of Walmart employees plan to stage a Black Friday walkout on the biggest shopping day of the year. The workers accuse Walmart of retaliating against them for speaking out about better pay, fair schedules, and affordable health care. Walmart denies the charge and says it will go full steam ahead with its Black Friday deals, protesters or not. A simple way to find your way around the stores today, and it's just in time for Black Friday. There are now store and mall layouts available in the Google Maps section on the web. Just go to map.google.com. The feature was already available for Android devices. All right, if you're planning to hit the stores for Black Friday or perhaps even Gray Thursday, you can go to our website, KTNV.com, to see what all the major malls around town have to offer. A lot of you are flying out to have dinner at Grandma's house, but if you're headed to McCarran sometime today, give yourself plenty of extra time. Parking spaces are actually filling up fast. We're being told Terminal 1 has already reached its parking capacity, so you have to try Terminal 3 or one of the economy lots. The process of checking in at airports, clearing security, and finding the gate can be stressful, especially if you're traveling with children. Experts say there are a few things you can do to make your trip a little easier. They say first, try and just take a carry-on if at all possible. Then you can check in online and you don't have to worry about standing in an extra line at the airport. Now, if you have to check a bag, take a carry-on with you with all the essentials to carry you through any kind of unexpected layover. And at TSA, always look for a family-friendly lane.
Remember that in most of the major airports, there are family-specific lanes. That will not only help you get through the airport security lines faster, but it will help all of the other people get through as well.
Lastly, ask if your airport has a designated play area. That way your kids can probably burn off their energy pre-flight. Now to a developing story out of Texas. A freeway in Beaumont is closed after a huge pileup. Take a look at this video. More than 100 cars were involved. You can see debris all over the road. Police say at least 80 people were hurt. So far, there are no reports of any fatalities. Several hundred more cars were stuck on the scene as they tried to clear it. Police say dense fog in the area could be to blame. A ceasefire between Israel and Hamas appears to be holding up. Well, you can see it's definitely cause for celebration on the streets of Gaza after 8 days of relentless violence. But the truce comes with strict conditions. The deal demands both sides immediately end hostile and attacks on each other. The ceasefire also calls for the opening of Gaza's border crossings to allow the movement of people and goods. The death toll in Gaza has climbed to 160 people after victims were pulled from the rubble. Here at home, a man is dead and another is behind bars after a shooting in the northwest part of Las Vegas. It happened last night around 10:30 on Rancho near Craig at a bus stop. Metro says the two were fighting before that shooting happened. They say the victim died on the scene, but his identity has not been released. And a holiday tragedy for one local family. Police say 2 men are dead after a murder-suicide near Alta and Rancho. Police say they received a call from a woman who said her estranged husband kicked down the door of her house and started shooting yesterday. She and her 3 kids escaped, but her boyfriend did not. Cops say her husband boyfriend and then killed himself. The couple had been separated for about a year. The identities of the two men have not been released. There is a holiday Scrooge in the Valley trying to ruin Thanksgiving for one nonprofit organization. Sometime on Tuesday night, thieves broke into the Hope Link of Southern Nevada. They stole gift cards intended for those in need. Hope Link is a local group that works for people around the valley who need a helping hand. The director tells us the back door was kicked in and the place was ransacked. There's no word on the value of those gift cards that were taken. Police are searching those still for suspects. Still ahead on Action News, the annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade marched through the streets of Manhattan in grand style. We have all the highlights. And later, Dead or Alive, we'll tell you about the big mistake Social Security made.
10 minutes after 11, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We've got a beautiful day in the Valley. We'll take a look at tomorrow, which is Black Friday, of course, and the weekend in just a bit.
From the Action News family to your family, happy Thanksgiving.
Good morning. 11:13 is the time. Take a peek outside, and this is what we're looking at on this beautiful Thanksgiving day. Mainly sunny skies with just a scrape of these higher level clouds periodically on the horizon. We've been seeing these the past several days, and I'll show you where they're coming from in a second. No major weather changes involved with that, though, whatsoever. 66 degrees, our current temperature. That is, of course, at McCarran. 59 Indian Springs, 63 in Mesquite, and 72 degrees in Laughlin. 66 degrees at McCarran, as mentioned prior. 66 degrees in Pahrump, 64 in North Las Vegas, and also 64 degrees in Henderson. I was thinking when, we started all this morning when I was going through the forecasting process that we'd be up around 67 degrees by lunchtime. It looks like we'll be there with this scrape of high clouds, light winds, and eventually, a high of 71 degrees. Pretty hard to argue with that, isn't it, on this day? Southwest satellite radar shows that everything's moving west to east here, and it's a pretty flat atmospheric flow. So, in other words, the jet stream is to the north of us, and that's because high pressure is built up here in the south and west, causing the main forces in the atmosphere to stay above us or north. And that's why future radar just goes and goes and goes. Nothing to look at because it's going to be beautiful here. 49 degrees tonight, and then we're going to be 71 tomorrow for Black Friday. Looking good. We'll get to that national weather in a second. 70 at the weekend for Saturday for lots of sunshine. 67 on Sunday, then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Temperatures in the mid-60s with lots of sunshine. Overnight lows in the upper 40s. Black Friday, of course, is tomorrow. 30 days till Christmas. And on Black Friday, we'll see blustery conditions throughout the upper Midwest, all the way down into Texas. A few showers in the Pacific Northwest, and a few showers running from the eastern Great Lakes down the Missouri and Mississippi valleys down into deep South Texas. Weekend looking good here for the south, but the north, some more snow and cold in the north and east as blustery conditions blow in from a little clipper that will be pushing through their area. But outside of some showers in the northwest, everything looks pretty good here in the south. This in from Facebook, Lisa.
Tell me.
And I love this. From Robert Sulzer, who is a Facebook fan, friend of mine. He says that before you go to bed tonight, set the scales 10 pounds lighter.
I love this man.
Oh, this is phenomenal.
Genius man.
Phenomenal. He's way ahead of the curve.
Not so much the clock, more so the scale.
Well, who cares about the clock?
Nobody.
It's all about the scale.
I agree 100%.
Correct.
Set it back 10 pounds.
Tighten
Smart
up the Spanx.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah. All right. Speaking of some weather, they had beautiful weather in New York City this morning. If you missed it, here's a glimpse of the 86th annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Dozens of marching bands, 55 balloons, cheerleaders, and clowns made their way through the streets of Manhattan with millions cheering them on. To help lift the spirits of New Yorkers, the city gave away about 5,000 bleacher seats to families hit hardest by Superstorm Sandy. Lady Liberty won't be getting any visitors for the rest of the year. There's enough damage to keep the Statue of Liberty and nearby Ellis Island closed. It's all thanks to Superstorm Sandy. The National Park Service says most of the issues on Liberty Island are trip and fall hazards. There is also significant damage to the security screening areas. On Ellis Island, the storm caused flooding, buckling floors, and shattered windows. There's no word on when the monuments will reopen. If you haven't already had a flu shot this year, there's a new version you may want to check out. We've got details coming up in a health report. Plus, a lot of you are running around today and for the next couple of days, but germs could be traveling with you There's a few simple steps you can take to keep yourself healthy this time of year. You watch Channel 13 Action News, where you ask and we investigate. In today's health report, we're learning more about that deadly meningitis outbreak. Some new documents show the FDA took almost 2 years to issue a warning about the pharmacy tied to the infection. After uncovering serious issues at the compounding centers in 2004, the FDA sent a warning letter. 684 days later, the pharmacy criticized them for a response time 18 months longer than the average. Investigators are digging up all safety issues on the center after the outbreak linked to the drugs made there killed 34 people and sickened hundreds more. Millions of people are jumping on planes this holiday season and traveling with them the germs. Doctors say there are a few simple ways to keep yourself healthy, though, this time of year. The first is a no-brainer: just wash your hands. You need to do that before you get on a plane and immediately after you get off a plane. Once you get on the plane, wipe down your seat and tray table with antibacterial wipe or that, Purell stuff. And lastly, get a flu shot before you travel. Speaking of flu shots, there is now a new vaccine you can try. The Food and Drug Administration has okayed the first seasonal flu vaccine made without chicken eggs. It could be a major change for people who are actually allergic to eggs. The vaccine is just as safe and effective as the traditional shot, but the FDA only approved it for adults who are 18 years old or older. He was declared dead even though he was still alive and breathing. Hear who made that big mistake. And sad news in the boxing world. Hear what doctors are saying now about boxer Hector Macho Camacho after he was shot in the face.
Action News Midday continues.
49 years ago today, shots were fired that forever changed American history. On November 22nd, 1963, President John F. Kennedy was shot in the head while his motorcade passed through downtown Dallas. He was declared dead 30 minutes later. Texas Governor John Connally was also wounded in that shooting, but he survived. We have an Action News update now. Doctors say famed Puerto Rican boxer Hector Macho Camacho is clinically brain dead after being shot in the face. Doctors are still performing tests on the boxer before meeting with his family. The 50-year-old Camacho was shot as he and a friend sat in a car parked outside a bar on Tuesday night. Police say they found 9 small bags of cocaine in the friend's pocket and a 10th bag open inside the car. Camacho was considered a volatile but skilled and popular boxer who battled drugs, alcohol, and other problems. He had a career record of 79, 6, and 3. The Thanksgiving holiday turned into a week of worry for one family in Texas. Their aging father went to the hospital on Tuesday, very much alive. Then they found out the Social Security Administration considered him dead and froze all of his health benefits.
I came unglued. I was in total shock. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? She said it would be like Wednesday, the 28th. And I'm like, my daddy is alive. I want this resolved as soon as possible.
Yeah, as it should be. The Social Security office later confirmed it was the one that made the error, possibly by someone with a bad keystroke entering this man's Social Security number for another beneficiary's death. If you're traveling today, you may run into some turbulence thanks to some heavy fog. Details on the trouble spots coming up. Plus, the cash-strapped U.S. Postal Service is looking at a new option for those who shop online. Hear what they're experimenting with now. Right now on Action News Live at midday, a cause for celebration in the streets of Gaza. After 8 days of relentless violence, a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas appears to be holding. Hostess brand officially going out of business, and thousands of workers have already been let go. And those of you flying out today, be sure to check to make sure your flight is on time. That's because some dense fog has airports across the country playing catch up.
Not like that here, Elise. It's just utterly fantastic. 11:30 is the time. Happy Thanksgiving. It's a beautiful day outside right now. Amidst of, essentially clear sky and just high clouds. That's it. Outside we go. Temp-wise, 66 degrees right now, and the winds are calm. As we take a look at the day planning forecast, 67 degrees by lunchtime. 71 for the high. Come back, take a look at tomorrow's shopping weather in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Mike. Now to our top story this half hour, a very visible sign of a ceasefire in the Middle East. Israeli soldiers that had been deployed to the border are now packing up and turning around. This comes after Israel and Hamas agreed to stop the back-and-forth violence that went on for 8 days. Hello, thanks for staying with us for the second half of Action News Live at midday. I'm Lisa Remillard. Casey Smith has the day off. This midday, both Israel and Hamas are claiming victory. As you can see, people are celebrating, chanting and cheering. For the first time since Israel launched its operation 1 week ago, there have been no sounds of rockets taking off or hitting their targets this morning. Hamas and its supporters are so confident they struck a decisive blow against Israel. Today has been declared a national holiday.
But now they feel it was a war and real war, and they feel what painful that Palestinians feel when the bomb is coming to kill our children, our people, and our house.
Sadly, though, this truce cost around 160 lives, Israelis and Palestinian lives. And on both sides, only a few think the truce will last. Here at home, President Obama is urging Americans to remember what ties us together after a very hard-fought election year.
On behalf of the Obama family, Michelle, Malia, Sasha, Bo, and me, I want to wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving. For us, like so many of you, this is a day full of family and friends, food, and football. It's a day to fight the overwhelming urge to take a nap, at least until after dinner. But most of all, it's a time to give thanks for each other and for the incredible bounty we enjoy in this country.
The president went on to say he hoped Thanksgiving Day could help ease the political divisions from this year's campaigns. American troops are celebrating Thanksgiving with food and football at a U.S.-led coalition base in the Afghan capital. Huge hunks of beef were actually delivered to an estimated 2,500 soldiers as they lined up at the base in Kabul. On the menu, turkey, ham, ribeye steaks with sides of dressing, corn, collard greens, mashed potatoes, and gravy. And for dessert, there was a huge cake with a turkey made of icing and scores of pies. Here at home, those devastated by floods back in September will not get any help from the federal government after all. The damage did not meet federal guidelines for a disaster declaration. The September 11th storm caused damage all over the valley, especially on the east side. FEMA set the damage estimate at about $1.5 million. That is far less than the threshold of the $6.6 million needed to qualify for federal funding. But those devastating floods are a reality for those in New Jersey. The state's governor, Chris Christie, is looking out for those hit hardest by Superstorm Sandy. He, his wife, and other state officials handed out turkey meals yesterday. The event was the official start of the Christie administration's second annual season of service. Superstorm Sandy hit New Jersey more than 3 weeks ago, leaving some people homeless for this holiday. From Contact 13, this midday hostess is immediately laying off 15,000 of its employees, with the rest remaining on for a few more months to shut down the operation. The specialty baker received permission yesterday to close up shop and stop producing products like the iconic Twinkie. The ruling came after the maker of Twinkies made a last-ditch effort to end a strike with its union workers. 170 employees working at the Hostess plant in Henderson will be affected. The cash-strapped U.S. Postal Service is moving aggressively this holiday season to start a premium service for the internet shopper by testing out same-day delivery. They are calling it Metro Post. It's teaming up with retailers and starting this in San Francisco on December 12th. Now, if things go according to plan, the program will quickly expand next year to cities like Boston, Chicago, and New York. The price is expected to be about $10. It's a happy Thanksgiving for America. Some holiday travelers braved heavy traffic and adverse weather conditions to get to their family turkey dinners. Others may not have that much time to eat. As ABC's Mark Greenblatt reports, earlier shopping hours are putting the squeeze on Thanksgiving traditions.
Dense fog that canceled 200 flights in Chicago Wednesday had airports nationwide catching up this Thanksgiving after you could barely see the tops of buildings there.
I told my daughter we'll have our turkey in the summer. I'll come in the summer, but I'm not coming again, never, ever again on Thanksgiving.
The same fog moved off towards Detroit and other parts of the Midwest today. For most of the country, good weather made for a mostly smooth travel day, and blue skies greeted the millions who turned out in person to watch New York's annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. The clear weather could also help boost Black Friday sales, as most shoppers didn't have to brave storms this year to line up for deals.
You just start to get pumped up, and 20 minutes before those gates open.
Shoppers at Kmart didn't have to wait, storming into this store in Burbank at 6 a.m. as the doors opened. The chain stayed open all day on what's now being called Gray Thursday.
We came here last night at 8 o'clock, and we're tired. I want to go home.
Kmart offered a morning doorbuster deal, a 32-inch LCD for $97. Tonight, Sears has a Toshiba 50-inch LED that normally retails for $799, marked down to $299. Toys R Us, Walmart, and Sears all open tonight at 8 p.m., Target an hour later at 9.
It's traditionally been the day after Thanksgiving. That means that's when they make all their money. But really, that's not true anymore.
But bargain hunters beware, because the Wall Street Journal found that as many as 1/3 of all the deals that are advertised this Black Friday were actually on sale for less earlier in the year. Mark Greenblatt, ABC News, New York.
Still ahead on Action News, it's a plane that will change aviation forever. We'll go inside the new Boeing 787 to see what the fuss is about.
This is Action News Midday with Lisa Remillard, Casey Smith, and Weather First with meteorologist Mike Chilinas.
All right, it's the centerpiece of all Thanksgiving meals, the turkey. And if you are in charge of cooking the bird this year, luckily you don't have to go at it alone. The Butterball Hotline is up and running today. You can call the turkey experts with any of your cooking questions. And there's another hotline for you, too. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has its meat and poultry hotline already set up. You can give either of them a call if you have any questions about how long to cook the bird, how long it can sit out. The numbers for both hotlines are right there on your screen. If you're flying today, you could be in for some holiday travel headaches. Now, there's a new plane that could make your next flight a little smoother. The Boeing 787 offers better air and even mood lighting. ABC's Jim Avila has the details from the flight of the future.
The swoop-winged plastic composite plane that is changing aviation has finally reached domestic routes this holiday season.
This is really a generational progress in aviation.
The Boeing 787 Dreamliner is a hot seller. Its carbon fiber, rather than metal fuselage, gives it lighter weight, allowing it to fly farther on less fuel. 800 have been sold worldwide, but United is the first domestic carrier.
It's smooth, it's quiet, it's got great lighting.
So what's the fuss? Good Morning America visited the Boeing assembly plant outside Seattle.
So you see the landing gear now?
Took the controls in a flight simulator in Houston, where United pilots trained to fly the 787.
Perfect, hold it right there. Beautiful. It was a firm landing. It was good. Correct runway in the right city, so we're good.
And joined a test flight over the Midwest to see for ourselves.
The airlines are buying these because they're cheaper to fly, more efficient, but they're going to sell you on creature comforts, like the air itself. There's more oxygen on this plane, it's cleaner and less dry, and they have these huge storage bins too. You can fit 4 suitcases in here.
The plastic body is stronger than metal, so the air pressure inside can be kept at the equivalent of 6,000 feet instead of the 8,000 or 9,000 in most jets. That translates to higher humidity in the cabin, more comfort, less jet lag, and dry skin. The windows are larger, can be dimmed at the touch of a finger. The entrance has more space, and indirect multicolored lighting makes for a calmer feeling on board.
It helps create a sense of spaciousness above.
A new generation of plane designed to fly longer, cheaper, and with style. Jim Avila, ABC News, Seattle.
Can't wait for that. That looks pretty good. Then 11:43 is the time. It is a gorgeous Thanksgiving here in the Valley. Many spots in the United States having a little trouble with the weather today, but not here. Take a look behind me, just absolutely gorgeous. 66 degrees our current temperature. That is at McCarran, of course. That's the official one. 59 degrees at Indian Springs, 63 degrees in Mesquite, and 72 degrees in Laughlin. 64 degrees north Las Vegas, and it's 66 degrees in Henderson right now. So lovely weather today, and we've really been in a marvelous little stretch of weather of late, that's for sure. 67 degrees, I should say, noontime temp, and then 71 degrees eventually for the afternoon high, with this sort of spray of higher level clouds on occasion and light winds. It's pretty much been almost a static feature for us in the weather to see this kind of thing day after day. And the reason for that, as we look at Southwest satellite and radar, is notice the southwest is clear, but to the north of us, in the north and west, they continue to see showers and cloudy weather. Well, it's because high pressure is kind of built up here in the south and west. This is a stabilizing force in nature. The air's sinking around it, so it's heating up. So we have sunshine and we have temperatures for this time of the year which are above normal, which for us is in the mid to upper 60s. Upper level energy just goes and goes and goes, and with the jet stream out of the north of us, you don't even see the jet beginning to even dive down to the south, so that's why we have such beautiful weather. For tonight, 49 degrees. You know, some folks going to be camping out tonight as well for some of those deals tomorrow. It should be nice weather with clear skies, light winds. 71 tomorrow for Black Friday officially here in the Valley, and then Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures will be up around 70 Saturday, 67 on Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, temps in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, of course, 30 days until Christmas. Boy, it creeps up on you in a hurry, doesn't it? The older you get, the faster it goes. Showers in the Pacific Northwest tomorrow, blustery. Around the Great Lakes, cool air sinking all the way down into Texas with showers along the East Coast. That cooler air sinks into the north and east later this weekend, but we remain nice here in the south and west. There's the quote for you from Facebook. I love this. This is from Robert Sulzer. He's one of my regular Facebookers. Before you go to bed, set your scale 10 pounds lighter. Just love that. Love 46 the time. Thank you, Robert. Lisa.
Love our brilliant viewers. All right, today is the day to give thanks and eat, and we're probably pretty tempted to allow our four-legged friends to join in on the festivities. Probably not the best move. Our friend Dr. Debbie White is here with the fabulous boss man to talk about the do's and don'ts of Thanksgiving. First of all, thank you for coming in on this holiday. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Okay, you know, the dogs are going to be around, the animals are going to be around, no doubt, during Thanksgiving. What should people not be feeding them from the table?
Well, the first thing is to not feel compelled that you have to. Dogs thrive best when their diet is consistent without a lot of changes. So if you keep feeding them their regular food, you're going to do the safest thing and keep them out of that emergency room.
Right, and you were just, we were just talking about this. You were saying, like, around the holidays are the most busiest times in these emergency rooms for animals.
Yes, and feeding from the table is a reason that your pet could go to the veterinarian at this time of the year. And 60% of pet owners admit to this. So, you know, we know we're doing it, but we want to do it smart. So we prefer not to feed those table scraps.
Right, okay, so number one thing, don't feed them those bones. Whatever you've got on your, just don't give them to the dogs.
Any bones, cooked bones, does not matter. They can cause damage, they can cause obstructions, and even break the teeth. But when you're feeding the table scraps, you want to keep it smart. Stick to the lean turkey meat, the white breast meat. No skin, no bones.
None of the no gravy on top. I mean, just don't take the gravy off your plate and give it to the dog. No.
Right. The sides, the salt, all the spices in there can upset their stomach, which could lead to vomiting or diarrhea, but even to something more serious, which is pancreatitis, which can be life-threatening.
Oh, my.
So it's best to stay away from those rich foods.
Yeah, and you were saying here in your notes that, you know, they're regular. If you feel like you need to give them a treat because you're having a treat, give them their regular treats, right?
Right, especially if your pet has a sensitive stomach or a food allergy. It's the safest way to go.
Sure. Okay, we all probably end up with some leftovers today after, you know, everybody gorges themselves on turkey and all the fixings, but those leftovers should also not go to the dogs, correct?
No, just remember your dog is not a garbage disposal, and they can get food poisoning. So if it's that 4-day rule and you haven't eaten that turkey, discard it. Don't give it to your pet.
Yeah, it's just as bad for them as it is for you.
It can be,
Don't do that. Okay, you have a list here. We have a list of the most common human foods that are toxic to animals. This is just always a good list to have. The chocolate and the xylitol sweets. Those are just like the hard candies, right?
It actually can be in a lot of baked goods. People that are diabetic, it's a sugar substitute, very dangerous for animals. Macadamia nuts, rising bread dough can releases ethanol, which is toxic, but also that mass in the stomach can cause an obstruction.
Okay, yeah, those were all the things that you just really need to avoid. And I know it's hard, right, to not give the animals a little treat from the table, but you suggest just don't do it.
Don't do it, and if you must do it, just be smart. Think ahead. You can be the one to keep your pet safe this holiday season.
Yes. All right, Debbie. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for coming in. We'll be right back.
$11:52 the time. A little panoramic view of the valley, and it is just beautiful out there. Get out and enjoy this. 71 will be our high. It's 66 degrees right now at McCarran.
The weather is so nice. You might want to take a little walk before and or after your Thanksgiving so you're not blobbing around on the couch.
Possibly get on the treadmill.
Perhaps. Why not go outside and enjoy it, though? All right, here's tonight's primetime lineup on Channel 13. A Charlie Brown Thanksgiving starts at 8, followed by Modern Family at 9. Then at 9:30, there is a special celebration of the 25th anniversary of Michael Jackson's Bad album and tour. And then, of course, it's Action News live at 11. I did, too. I had an actual album of Bad.
I used to wear the bandana.
Oh.
No, I did not.
All right. Finally, at midday, a Texas woman found a unique way to propose to her longtime boyfriend. She held up a sign on the highway overpass in Mathis, Texas, knowing her boyfriend would pass by. He eventually rolled through, got out of the car, and accepted the proposal.
It's been too long. I'm ready to get married and get it over with and finally be happy.
I'm just happy. It's been together a long time, and I don't know, I'm excited.
Making it official, the two have been they have been together forever, high school sweethearts. Good for them. We want to say thank you to Debbie for coming in with Boss Man. Don't feed the dogs the scraps from the table, but have a good Thanksgiving.
Injured in an auto accident? Call Harris & Harris Personal Injury Lawyers. Proven results.